Steve Jobs by Jack Talicia. Steve Jobs showed achievement in the area of science. He achieved distinction by making up computers, iPhones, and iPads. Steve Jobs was born on February 24, 1955 in San Francisco, California. He was adopted. A few years later, his parents adopted a little girl named Patty. Steve grew up in Mountain View, California. In 1976, Steve Jobs and his friend Steve Wozniak started Apple Computing Company. They began making computers in Steve's garage. He was only 21 years old. In 1985, Steve left Apple. He started a new company called Next. After a while, his company was not doing very well. Next had lost over $10 million in 3 years. Apple asked him to come back, so he did. Around the same time, Steve bought an art studio and named it Pixar. Steve paid over $10 million for Pixar. In 1995, Pixar made their first computer-animated movie, Toy Story. Later, they made Finding Nemo, Cars, The Incredibles, Up, and Brave. In 2007, Steve invented the iPod, iTunes, and iPhone. By 2011, the iPod was a huge hit. Over 300 million iPods were sold all over the world. iPads were introduced in 2010. I have my very own iPad and I use it every day. I have an iPod too. Sadly, after fighting pancreatic cancer for more than 7 years, Steve Jobs died in 2011. The most important thing to remember about Steve Jobs is that his creative ideas changed the way people learn and communicate with one another. He was amazing. He even holds 313 patents for his inventions. We're so lucky our whole school uses Apple computers. When I went to Lake Tahoe, I brought my iPad and made a journal and a slideshow for my class. I wish Steve Jobs were still alive so he could use his creative ideas to come up with even more inventions. Question 1. What is the name of Steve's most famous company? Felix. Correct. Question 2. Name one of his computer animated movies. Noah's Mom.
Toy Story.
Correct. Number 3. Before I read this question, if anyone has an iPhone or any Apple product, can you please hold it up? I'm just curious. Okay, so number 3 is name one of Steve Jobs' inventions in this room. Casey.